You guys can see it in the title, but yes, between my blog and this channel, this is my 200th album review. Granted, that doesn't count 10 years later videos or multi-album reviews, so I'm sure the number is way above that. But even still, given that I started with single album reviews, the fact that I've even reached 200 is just kind of crazy. And how funny that the last time I reviewed a Kyle album was right after my 100th review, and now we get to talk about him for my 200th. He's always releasing albums right when I'm reaching milestones, isn't he? Either way, yes, Kyle is back with his second studio album, See You When I Am Famous, with 12 exclamation marks. Kyle is a California-based rapper who's been around for a very long time now, but it wasn't until 2017 that he really hit his stride, when his single iSPY with Lil Yachty peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was a huge summer hit. He parlayed the success of that song into a spot as a XXL Freshman in 2017, and in May of 2018 came through with his debut studio album Light of Mine, which I quite liked, and you can check out my original review of it at the link in the description. But these days it seems like Kyle doesn't get talked about very much, other than for the ideology that he fell off. There was a very long gap between when he was a XXL freshman and when he eventually released Light of Mine, and he hasn't had a huge hit song that charted on the Billboard Hot 100 since iSPY, leading many to label him as one of the 2010s biggest hip-hop one-hit wonder artists. Where fellow XXL freshmen like A Boogie with the Hoodie, P&B Rock, Playboi Carti, Amine, and of course the late XXXTentacion have maintained huge success since making the freshman list, Kyle has unfortunately seen his profile fall a little bit because, like I said, iSPY was his only charting single and Light of Mine didn't exactly destroy the Billboard 200. Still, I very much enjoyed Light of Mine, and I thought it was a very underrated hip-hop record back in 2018. I loved Kyle's spirited, fun-loving vibe that was on full display all throughout the album, and I was very interested to see where he would go from there. Now, 2 years later, he's finally returned with this new album, which is 12 tracks and 35 minutes, far shorter than Light of Mine. To my surprise though, while I was a little bit worried when I saw that, I think the brevity helps this album out because it remains a very enjoyable listen. On this record, I do feel like Kyle's personality is once again on full display, even if several tracks here aren't exactly bursting with a ton of energy and they feel a little bit more emotional. Right from the jump, the track Bouncin' is pretty relaxing, but it has a few cool instrumental switch-ups that turn it into a bit more of a banger. But Kyle's slightly auto-tune assisted vocals remain as smooth as ever, and they definitely complement the song very nicely. And even on a track like Over It that's way more mellow, I think that Kyle has plenty of fun. His auto-tune crooning fits nicely over the somewhat lighter vibe of the song, and I think there are some funny lyrics where Kyle talks about how he would react to people that didn't care for him suddenly caring when he becomes famous. What It Is also bangs too. It's got some sad lyricism about Kyle getting over a breakup, but it's nevertheless got some very infectious pop rap production to it. In ways, the bouncy piano instrumental works in some of his established formula and feels a bit reminiscent of something like Playin' With Me, but I think the track still works very well. It's catchy, Kyle's vocals are smooth, the chorus is hella catchy. It's one of those songs that feels simultaneously emotional, but still pretty fun. Bye is also an emotional track. Kyle talks here about leaving his mother's house and how growing up can be pretty hard. It's a more spacey, minimal track with some cool, hazy vibes to it, but I think Kyle matches that emotional feel of the song perfectly with some great vocals, and I appreciate this track a lot as one of his more personal songs. This album is also loaded with features, which doesn't exactly surprise me given that Light of Mine also had some pretty big features on it. And while I've heard a lot of people say early on that the features really steal the show on this album, I don't think they take away too much from Kyle. Rather, I think they add nicely to his already strong collection of tracks. Money Now, for example, features Tyga and Johnny Yukon, and this is the kind of song that just puts a big smile on my face. It's hard not to be happy when hearing it. I love the bright and bouncy piano instrumentals. Johnny Yukon just kills it on the song. The chorus is damn catchy. His vocals are super dope. Kyle has plenty of fun here too, and while Tyga's verse isn't exactly the best part of the song, I do think he has a few quirky songs that work well and round it out pretty nicely. There's also the track Girls featuring none other than Rico Nasty, and this is another really strong banger. The instrumental is much harder and more reverb heavy, but it's honestly pretty irresistible, and I think Kyle and Rico Nasty both kill it on their verses. There's a lot of fun personality and catchy flows on the song that make it a really solid listen. Yes features Rich the Kid and K-Camp, and it's a very cool piece of pop rap. I really like a lot of the guitars on the song, and the whistling in the background is pretty dope too. What also makes it really fun is a lot of the vocal trade-offs between Kyle, K-Camp, and Rich the Kid. All of them sound great, and the way they interweave vocals with one another is pretty awesome. and Forget features all of Trippie Redd, Ian Dior, and the drums, and it's another very solid emotional track. The instrumental feels a little bit more rock twinged, thanks again in no small part to the drums being involved with it, and I think the instrumental proves to be a good playground for each of its artists. Jonathan Pierce of the drums provides some harrowing vocals on the intro. Trippie Redd's emotional vocals sound great over this instrumental. Kyle's filtered vocals play well to the vibe of the song, and Ian Dior's vocals do feel pretty emotional too, making this a pretty well-rounded track. Then there's The Sun, which features Bryson Tiller as well as Raphael Saadiq, and the track is easily one of the most downbeat ones on the album. Raphael Saadiq's production is built on a simple set of guitar strums, but the song as a whole is yet another standout. I love how chill and relaxed it is. Kyle and Bryson Tiller have some great vocal chemistry, and they really sell this song and its message of finding hope and positivity. And while he's not officially credited as a feature, Mr. Man, one of Kyle's prime collaborators that's been supporting him since day one it seems, does appear on a few tracks. The A Message from Mr. Man interlude, which doesn't amount to a ton, but it is a nice message from him to Kyle. And then the track Mr. Man and KID. KID, if you don't know, was Kyle's original pseudonym, which stood for Kyle is Determined. And this is more just a straight up rap track with a more banging beat, and Kyle and Mr. Man just kind of trading off some flows. I love the somewhat soulful mixing on the instrumental, and Kyle and Mr. Man have a lot of fun on what feels like a bit of a freestyle. It's a huge change of pace from what else is here, but damn, it's very cool just hearing these guys rap their asses off on the song. Though, to top the record off, the title track, See You When I'm Famous, which is oddly enough a bonus track, features appearances from AZ Chike and Too Short, and I think it's probably my least favorite of the songs here. Even though it's the title track and therefore you think it's the best one, I'm just honestly not that crazy about it. It's got a much darker, harder beat to it, which again is a nice change of pace, but I think said beat just feels a bit bland, and for some reason I couldn't stop hearing this song and thinking that it sounded like Tatiana by Blueface. I do think AZ Chike and Too Short sound okay, but Kyle doesn't have a big enough presence, and when he does show up, I think his personality isn't on display enough. It's a valiant effort at making something a bit harder, but it doesn't land quite as well as something like Mr. Man and KID did. Overall though, despite the somewhat weak closer, I have to say I honestly really enjoy this project. I know a lot of people haven't been crazy about it, but honestly, I really liked it. Kyle's personality remains very great. I like how a lot of these songs feel like nice bits of emotional escapism, and it's just an all-around strong collection of pop rap songs. Kyle doesn't generally read to me as being the most conceptual artist, but he's been able to succeed by just understanding himself and his sound and by just making fun music. I say it all the time, but sometimes when it comes to making enjoyable music, you just gotta have fun with it. And to me, Kyle has fun with it, as do a lot of his collaborators. I think his charisma and vocal charm is on full display throughout the entire album. A lot of the instrumental choices actually fit him pretty perfectly, and the result is another extremely fun album. I know I'm probably one of the few people that really enjoys Kyle's music and really checks for it, but this guy's got yet another infectious, exciting album on his hands with this project, and I hope people give it a chance because it's got a great vibe and it's just an all-around very enjoyable listen. Overall, on my rating scale, I am definitely going to say that Kyle's See You When I Am Famous, with 12 exclamation marks, is going to get an excellent rating from me. Might be a bit surprising, but very much love this album. Kyle did a great job with it. Happy that my 200th review ended up being of a really, really good album, and I think you guys should check it out. Hopefully you guys like it as much as I did. But of course, that's just my opinion on this album. What did you guys think about it? Did you love it as much as I did? Did it leave you disappointed? How would you rank it in comparison to Light of Mine? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them down in the comments. Let's keep this civil and have some fun as we like to do. If you guys want to hit like and subscribe, thank you, but if not, it's no big deal. I will not beg you for that. In terms of what's next, obviously Logic just recently announced that his next album that's coming out next week will be his last album, and of course I will be giving that a look, so stay tuned. Until then, I just really quickly want to say thank you guys who have continued to support me over these last 200 album reviews. I'm not going to make this super long or platitudinous or anything like that because I don't want to get dramatic on you guys, but when I first started doing album reviews just on my Facebook and Instagram, I kind of was just doing it for shits and giggles. I never thought that it would extend to the point where I would be doing them on YouTube and reading comments from people who say, oh my god, you remind me of Anthony Fantano. To even be on a similar stratosphere to him is kind of crazy. But it's just been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys that have supported my channel and watched my reviews and left likes, comments, have subscribed to me. I just really appreciate it. I'm thankful for your support, and I hope to continue to give you guys great content, and hopefully here's to another 200 album reviews. We'll see, but I'm definitely hoping for it. Until my next review though, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all the love and support. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.